up, everybody? Welcome back to Big Things Kentucky. Region Week, Coach. Region Week. We finna knock it down to 16, Coach. What's up with you?
Have no fear. Big Things is here. As always, subscribe, share, and like, and follow us on all social media. We at 950. Come on, y'all. Help us get 50 more to get to Big Things 1K. We got a big prize pack for you. Holler at us, so we'll get you together. What's going on, Coach? I'm Coach Bew, my main man, Coach TB on Simon. Coach Truck, what's good?
Man, we in the Region Week. Like I said, we had some big upsets leading up to this regional tournament in the districts, man. My dark horse, I'm gonna ride that one more time. Paul Lawrence Dunbar has beat Lexington Catholic 2 times in a row, Coach. 2 times in a row going into this regional tournament. So that's something that bears watching.
Absolutely, Coach. It's big. Coach, I picked Henry Clay to come out there too, Coach. Henry Clay looked pretty good, so I like my Blue Devils. I think I would say that hurt my soft skin and saying that, Coach.
Yeah, man, as we were doing our interviews, Henry Clay and also Dunbar and Madison Central, all 3 coaches were saying that they finally got their teams full strength and they were excited to see where they were going to go leading into these districts. And you've seen they've showed up.
Absolutely. And of course, right now, gotta be your front runner, Frederick Douglass, Coach. Quiet as kept out there, just been doing their thing, demolishing cats with a great young nucleus around Deshaun Jackson. Shout out to my guy Cootie over there playing point guard. Because it's a nice little team. I ain't gonna lie, Frederick Douglass is just, as you say, matriculating the ball down the field and it looking good, Coach. They ain't doing
it kind of, you feel like when they kind of turned that corner last year, they gained some confidence, and Coach Mosley came in and kept feeding that, and they have not dipped at all. They were up and down last year, but they've been, if anything, he's kept them consistent.
Well, Coach Mosley's staff has done a remarkable job. Sometimes you need a different voice to come in and say some of the same things and say it a little different. We see that in football. So I think Coach Mosley's done a remarkable job over him and his staff with that team. Like I said, they've taken them to the level that we've always expected them to be. And then even their old coach said they could be that team some days and not some days. But they've been consistent this year. That's the biggest difference.
All right, Coach. Now, on the boys' side, we talked to Sayre's head coach, Coach Robert Goodman, to talk about his past season and the regional tournament. Coach Goodman, how you doing today, Coach?
Doing great. Weather's great. Still some basketball going on. Love watching it. Postseason's the best time of year, and just having a good time. Wish we were in it, but having a good time watching.
Well, Coach, man, you've been the head coach at Sayre since 2014. You've had a vast coaching career and everything. Just kind of break it down and tell it to us. Give us the Sayre experience.
Well, it's a unique experience. Obviously it's a phenomenal academic school and just a great place. Obviously, I think so, and a lot of people do. But we've had some fun teams over the years. We've had some teams that have beaten some people, and my goal when I got here was to be consistent with that. I think we've had some nice runs and been able to beat some city schools here in recent years, and I think we're making some headway here, and we just want to be a player in the city is what I've always said. And I told the guys when I first got here, I'm not going to coach you any different than the guys I coached at Moorhead or at Transy or at Dunbar or at Henry Clay. The same expectations are there, and they're capable of doing it. They just got to start believing it. That's right. I got a great staff with Coach Thomas and a couple other guys, Coach Chisholm, Coach Logan, Coach Atkins. They're all phenomenal.
Yeah. The coach, man, like I said, man, it's a tough season, being COVID, everything. Look like you all missed about 15 games because of COVID. Man, how was it implementing your system? I mean, not having the time to really see the kids a lot. I think when you had these incidents, you missed games, missed practice time. So how was it for you? How difficult was it for you and your staff?
It was hard. I mean, it was difficult. I thought we had a very good team this year. Some nice players, and we really excited about what we could do this year. And I still think we accomplished some fun things, but, we missed an entire month. We couldn't practice or anything. I was unfortunate. I was one of the first ones to get it. It hit me hard. It was right after the All-A in Berea. Gave me pneumonia but it pretty much, it went through the team pretty good. But they all recovered, thank goodness. And everybody got better. Surprisingly, we got back. So that was January 15th. We didn't get to play again until February 15th. And when we got back, we had a couple practices, and I'll tell you, they were the worst practices I'd ever seen. We hadn't done anything. But surprisingly, we came out like gangbusters. We beat a very good Wolf County team here, turned around and beat Bryan Station, then went over to Scott County and lost by 1. Eventually the conditioning did catch up to us.
How do you compete from your smaller, like you say, denominal things? How hard is it to compete with these schools?
Well, it's harder, but like I said from the beginning, I told these guys, our expectations are going to be the same. I think we've made headway. I think, Douglas got us pretty good. He's got an awful talented team over there this year, but there wasn't another district game that we weren't really in, competing or winning. It's the expectations got to be there from the coach. I think it starts from the top. I think you just don't let these guys believe. And I told everybody from the start, there's no excuses. It doesn't matter that we're in that district. Let's be better. Let's just get better and play harder. And I think I will tell y'all, 8 years ago, I met with Coach Pennington and we were able to, we talked a little bit about bringing football to Sayre. I think that's helped us tremendously. I think our physicality is where it needs to be. And, we made some runs without football, obviously in 2017, getting to the semis and we've had some nice players, but football brings a whole different mentality, which I think we need. I can tell you off my days at Henry Clay, the one thing that the teams we had at Henry Clay didn't really appreciate much playing against was some of those bigger, stronger football kids that were physical, and getting after them. So, one of my goals was to bring Coach Pennington in and get us stronger and more physical.
Now, Coach, I ain't gonna lie, you hurt my heart. You put my defenders out of the tournament, Coach. I almost didn't want to do this interview, but I said, let's go ahead. I won't be biased, but you beat my defenders twice, which says a lot, being a pretty good city school like that. Man, how long did it take for your kids to buy into your system? And did you have to handle them different at first, coming from the public school skating and even college, as you were Coach Macy and Moorhead? Did it take a while for you to get the kids to buy into the system and see what you was trying to do?
Well, it certainly did. I mean, like I said, I had some talented teams when I first got here. Justin Sanders was on one of those teams. I don't know if y'all remember him or not. He could play with anybody in the city. He was a special player. And it was a nice team that year. But again, when we went up against the city schools, it was, they would kind of lose their mind and lose their focus, And so there's that constant challenge you got to put out to the guys. And I remember in 2016, we played Creek close and we played Station close at home. And some of my kids were really upset because we didn't beat them, and I kept telling them, we're closer, guys. We're closer. We're going to get over that hump. Then finally in 2017, we beat Creek, we beat Station. Got into the semis and got in, made it all the way, beat Henry Clay that year and got all the way to the region. So, and we just want to continue doing that, I think, and just getting there. But to answer your question, it took a while, but again, like I said, it wasn't any adjustment for me. I wanted to see if the way we coach at other places worked here and if the kids would buy in, and they have bought in. They've accepted it. And, one of my good friends is Coach Brown over Henry Clay. I love working with him and he's done a phenomenal job over there. He's a great coach. And one of the things I've kind of taken from him is the hard work, how hard you got to get your guys to buy into play, because as you guys know, it's an absolute war and, every night. So you got to have your guys ready to go. If not, they're going to get shoved around and beat up. But Coach Nimba does a great job at Bryan Station. He's going to have those guys rolling again, I know, in no time. So don't talk too much about those wins because I don't want to take it out on me. So
now, Coach, actually looking ahead, looking ahead, you got a very junior-laden team.
Yep.
So it looks like the sky's the limit for Sayre next year, Coach, man. We could be making some noise next season. Sounds like you're going to be – I don't want to put the spotlight on you, Coach. I'll be quiet. You might be my dark horses next year, Coach.
Coach, let me stop right there. That there, Coach, is what I call the kiss of death.
Yeah. I get it.
Something's gonna happen. Somebody gonna transfer out. I'm telling you, Coach, it was bad luck.
Just stop right now, I guess. All right.
Stop it, Coach. Run right now.
I appreciate
Coach.
it. No, we got some good players returning, but I mean, my goodness, I mean, look at the district. Everybody's got great players returning. Like I said, I mean, Coach Brown's got some phenomenal guys coming back, and with this new fifth year thing, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, some of these guys may be coming back in for that. So I'm excited. I mean, Xander is Colette's a special player. He can fill it up, he can shoot it, and we've got a nice point guard in Dan Bowling. He's had a great year this year, and Cole Pennington doesn't score a lot right now. I think he'll score some more here soon. But I mean, you got to have him on the floor, and he rebounds just like a machine. I mean, he just gets after it. And
now, is that kind of the football toughness that you're talking about? He kind of brings to your team.
Exactly. I mean, again, getting through screens and playing defense and rebounding, those sorts of things. They're not afraid to knock it around a little bit and get physical with other guys. And we got to have that mentality. We think we'll compete next year. I don't. We'll see. Like I said, there's so many great coaches and so many great players in this region. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Well, Coach, speaking about the region, who you like coming out of the regions coming up? Who you like? You got, you got Douglas in there, Henry Clay there. Who you like coming out of this, Coach?
I don't know if I'd be silly enough to try to pick one coming out of here. I mean, honestly, there's just phenomenal teams and coaches, and I'll tell you what. I mean, the job Chalk's done at Dunbar, and I mean, those guys at Douglas, I mean, Jackson is, you can be right up on him, guarding him, and it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. I mean, he's going to knock down the shot. I mean, the one I'm going to go for, I think, the dark horse I really like a lot is, and he's a buddy of mine, but I love the way his team's playing now, is Coach Brown and Henry Clay. I think they've seen these guys. I think his team's finally at full strength. Blackwell's just a heck of a player. And Henderson does a great job for them. They've got a squad that can make some noise in this region tournament. Now, I mean, Catholic's obviously Catholic. They're very, very good. And but I mean, on any given night, I mean, you give Coach Wise a chance to scout you from Franklin County. He's going to give you fits. And I mean, I'd be silly not to mention Coach Feldhouse, right? I mean, they're so solid with the program. I mean, who knows when they're, but there's some great teams in Frankfurt, and Coach O'Brien does a great job. So I think I've mentioned everybody now, but they're
Coach, they're covered all these bases. You sound like me, Coach.
I like the way Henry Clay's playing right now. I really do. I think they're playing some good ball, and like I said, Dunbar's too. But I just like the way Henry Clay's playing right now. I think it'd be a tough matchup for anybody.
Now, do you put any stock in as just a coach that Dunbar, has beat the favorite Lexington Catholic 2 times in a row? Let's say, looking at it from Coach Salzman's side, how does that affect the psyche of your team going into that tournament?
It certainly does. It's definitely in their head. I mean, they realize these guys are for real, and you're just going to have to grind down. Now, it's just a few points here and there, but I'll tell you what, we're a 3-point shooting team. I mean, they're going to have to think about moving that 3-point line back. I watched that game the other day, and I mean, kids were shooting from 25, 26, 27 feet out, effortlessly. I mean, so, we've got, it's amazing because we have all these bigs in the region this year, Twombly and Catholic's got a couple, and Dunbar's got a couple guys that are huge and strong and big, but the 3-point shot is still what's running our region right now. I mean, you don't let Jackson and Douglas have an open look, and they got 7 or 8 guys that can knock down the 3. You got to be able to guard the 3, and unfortunately for Catholic, Dunbar was nailing those 3s, and Catholic was too, but Dunbar was hitting more of them. So it's in their head. They're just going to have to get out and guard. Which I know Salzman. He won the Coach of the Year in our region. So I mean, he'll be prepared. But on the flip side, there's Scott Chalk too, who'll be prepared also. And it's definitely in their head. There's no question. But that would be a heck of a matchup. I think. I haven't given Douglas enough love on here. They're dangerous as can be. They are absolutely dangerous as can be. And, they've got guys, like I said, any number of those guys. Even their bigs can step out and hit 3s. You think you got somebody, we tried to box and chase and triangle and 2 and try to be fancy and have some fun, but it ended up not being that much fun. So, all those guys can shoot.
Coach, how your bracket doing? Just curious.
It's busted. Ohio State took me out early. I was pulling for
Big
Coach
Ten
Holtman.
hurt
Coach Holtman
everybody,
and I,
didn't he?
Coach Holtman and I played Little League ball together at Acton, and then we played against each other, and he was at West Jessamine, or at Jessamine County at that time. So I was kind of pulling for him, and yeah, it got busted early.
Well, Coach Goodman, man, we appreciate you joining us today. Numbers, good luck next year. Like I said, I'm excited to see what you all do to get through a non-COVID season, get all you work with your kids and get everything you want to put in. It should be exciting to see Sayre next year, especially as Coach Truck said, being so young.
No, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. It'd be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Great interview with Coach Goodman. Our first time get a chance to sit down with him, having on Big Things Kentucky. Man, a lot of knowledge. Spoke about his time in college and in high school in the city. And actually, he had a lot of knowledge about every team that's still playing. So it's good to see back, Coach.
Yes, sir. And it'll be interesting. Like he said, he wants Sayre to compete, and he feels like, why limit his kids? Why not us? So keep an eye out for Sayre. Like I said, they have a junior laden team this year. I think they're going to be really nice next season. So we'll see how that goes.
We got 2 sports star Cole Pensley doing this thing on the football field and on the basketball court, Coach.
Now, on the girls' side, talk about upsets. I think one of the biggest upsets we had was Taste Creek knocking off Dunbar in the district round. Everybody kind of had in the region, maybe Dunbar and Franklin County clashing at the end, with Scott County being down. Also, shout out to Coach Helton for taking the Scott County girls. When they started, it was kind of like, it's going to be a long year. Yeah. And here they are winning the district, led by KT having a wonderful senior season.
Absolutely. And then, Coach, man, as you see in our interview coming up here with Coach Runyon, he talks about the great job Coach Yates has done. Matt Yates has done at Taste Creek to turn those young ladies around. Regular season's gone, playoff starts a whole new season, and Coach Yates has them girls playing great over there. Man, it's kind of bittersweet to see a Taste Creek team turn around, but also see that Dunbar team who's worked so hard to get to that point that we felt like they was going to be a contender for state championship to lose. But it's high school basketball, and it's March Madness, Coach. Anything is possible.
And here's our interview with Coach Runyon. Kind of disappointing season, end of the season. You guys had a great season through all of this COVID, man. You ended up being 14-4. How you kind of sum up this season, Coach?
It was different. I mean, obviously it didn't end the way that we wanted it to. But overall, it was a great season. We got 4 of our 6 graduating kids have college offers. We won a bunch of games, had a couple of real exciting games and overtime and double overtime, played some really good competition. So overall, the season was a huge success, and just the way the kids navigated COVID, navigated everything, they did a great job. So I'm probably, more proud of them this year than in some retrospect years past.
Well, Coach, first of all, I want to say congratulations to you and your staff on a great season. To get through the COVID and did what you all did, you know what I'm saying? That says a lot. What do you take away from this season?
Well, I think the big takeaway that I'll probably look back and maybe even try to utilize a little bit moving forward is, how practices are structured. I think that was a big thing because it kind of forced us to use our time a little bit more wisely, where we didn't have the same amount of time into the gym. So I think looking forward, how practices are structured would be the first thing I'm going to look at for next season and beyond. And then I think the next big thing for me in terms of what I move forward with, what I look back on this season too, is I think just dealing with trying to help the team deal a little bit better with outside pressures. I think that this COVID situation affected everybody so differently. And everybody was kind of dealing with it in their own way, and school was completely different. And just being more in tuned to those type of things moving forward. Now, hopefully we never have to deal with COVID ever again. But, I think that's another thing that I think I can take and modify and help the girls out moving forward as well.
Now, Coach, this senior class, this was, you can kind of tell this was a special group for you. They've done a lot, accomplished a lot. I know, COVID hurt them, as far as a lot of things they could have done and won't be experiencing. How did this group stick with you as far as, memorable groups that you've had?
Oh, man. Well, as a coach, I still don't know if there's a unwritten rule whether or not you're supposed to say that you have a favorite senior class or not. But, this was certainly one of my most favorite ones. I've known, some of the kids started playing with me when they were seventh graders. So I've seen them for 4 or 5 years. 6 years. So, there really was a special connection, a special bond with this group. And, you'll have that moving forward, with future classes. But, it's hard to answer that question today because this is the only senior class for this year. And, but they are a very special group of kids, and they have accomplished so much, and they'll accomplish way more off the basketball court than they will on the basketball court. I know that for sure. We got kids that, got scholarships to Alabama and Purdue just for school. So, these kids are going to go on and be a professional in something. But this group was certainly one of my favorites.
Because I know season's ended last week. How's it looking for next year? I know because of coach, you try to savor the good and the bad, and you look towards next year. How's it looking next year for this Lady Bulldog team?
We'll be young. We'll have some kids that played some minutes, some kids that haven't played some minutes. We'll have a couple of leaders that we'll lean on a lot. But you would right now, if you were asking me this question today, it certainly looks like we might be in a little bit of a rebuilding mode next year. But hopefully that's not the way it looks at the end of the year. We'll probably take a few lumps early, but hopefully we'll get them playing the right way towards the end and get them motivated to, be hungry for another district championship, try to get a region championship. But, it's all going to depend a lot too on what we're allowed to do over the summer, what the restrictions, COVID restrictions, or can we go to camps? Can we have games? Can we do that kind of stuff? So, we're still waiting on some guidance for that for right now. So if we get a full summer and we can do some things that we're used to doing, it'll definitely look better. But we'll just have to wait and see.
We ain't gonna make you pick a team, Coach, but just kind of break down the finals for us in the region. As now we have left Madison Southern will be playing Lafayette, and Taste Creek and Franklin County will be playing there. Because do you see anybody challenging this powerful Franklin County team out of this region?
I think it all just depends. I certainly think Franklin County is the favorite. Tates Creek did some things against us that I think they can replicate with Franklin County against Franklin County. I think some pressure defense can be deployed out there. I do think that Tates Creek has very much a chance to be in that game and win that game. Speaking of Tates Creek, a lot of credit goes to Coach Yates. And, I know on paper they didn't have the record that, a lot of other teams had in the district and the region. But what he did as a 4 seed, winning 3 straight games, over us, over LCA, over us, and over Lafayette, that is the version of Tates Creek that me and my coaching staff thought was going to be there all year long. And we knew they were dangerous. We knew that he was talented. We know that they can play basketball. Whatever happened during the regular season happened, and that's all over and done with. He had them ready and has them playing at the only time that matters. And he did a great, great job. And so I still would say that Franklin County is the favorite there just because of the pedigree where they've been there before. Brooklyn, Miles. I think that they're probably the favorite. Now on the other side, Madison Southern Lafayette game, I expect that to be an all-out battle, just a brutal war contest. I think it's going to be a great game. Coach Denton's been around a long time. She'll have her kids ready. She's got a game plan. I know she's going to have those kids out there performing as best as they can. And then Coach Curtis, Madison Southern, I know this is his first year, but he has got a great group, and he's got a 2,000-point scorer who can fill it up. And it'll be an interesting chess match because the styles are a little different. In terms of, Franklin and Tate's Creek, Tate's Creek's going to want to speed you up and press and play pressure defense. Well, Franklin County can do some of that too. So there might be a little bit of a stalemate with some of that. But the game earlier I was referring to with Madison Southern and Lafayette, there's two different styles of play there. And it's going to be about which style is going to win out and who's going to have the better game plan, because the talent for both teams is there. There's no doubt about that. I just think it's going to be maybe who catches a hot shooting night. Maybe it comes down to one or two loose balls. I mean, you never know, but I think that's going to be a really good game.
Appreciate you joining us today, Coach Runyon, man. Yes, sir. Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Man, great interview with Coach Runyon. Everything we just said, we talked about, he had a lot of knowledge on. He spoke about, his love for that senior class he had and what his expectations was for him. And he talks about next year possibly being a real rebuilding year. But, it was a great interview, though, Coach, definitely.
Yes, sir. I always like Coach Runyon and the Dunbar girls, man. It hurt my heart they not there. In the region, boys team, Coach, who you liking out of that one?
Coach, I'm going Frederick Douglass, Coach.
Okay, Coach. Frederick Douglass. Man,
Douglass, Coach.
I feel like Lexington Catholics gonna conquer this beast, and I feel like they're gonna finally come out, man. I just feel like Ben Johnson's too good to be held back like this, and they got him twice, Coach.
Fatality.
But it would be nice to see a Frederick Douglass Lexington Catholic game. We haven't seen that one all season.
I love to see it, Coach. That'd be a barn burner. That'd be a good one. Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely.
But give me Catholic, Coach.
All right.
And on the girls' side, Coach, who you think gonna come up out of that?
Coach, I'm gonna have the Franklin County Flyers, Coach. Let's go, baby.
That hopefully we get a Madison Southern Franklin County game. And I'm like you, I think Brooklyn Miles, hey, she's hungry. Coach Thacker is great. They finally got their injuries out of place and they back together. Give me Franklin County on that one too, Coach.
Well, I'm telling you what, Madison Southern ain't going out to fight, Coach. You picked them early on and they've been impressive.
Hey, Coach, shout out to Coach Austin, man. Shout out to Coach Austin.
We might be good luck, Coach. Coach also done a great job down with them young ladies.
Well, Coach, man, before we get out of here, I just want to know, how's your bracket, Coach?
How's your bracket, buddy?
I just want to know. I got three Final Fours left, Coach. I got three Final Fours left. Also, we got almost over 90 people in our bracket pool, man. Hey, shout out to all of y'all. Here's a list. Here's a list of who's leading after the second round.
Now, out of you 90 people, how many of y'all subscribe to Big Things Kentucky? If you win, you ain't getting your prize, so everybody subscribe to Big Things. I'm joking. But make sure you subscribe to Big Things Kentucky. Make sure you pick up with sweatshirt. We got the Big Thing, baby. We got the regular Big Things. We got the Big Thing of Pearl. We do it all, baby. My fault, Coach. That was a shameless plug. But make sure you get your stuff at Big Things Kentucky.
Hey, Coach. It's all good. Hey, y'all enjoy the tournaments. Get ready for regions. Tune in for our Sunday conversation. Hey, man, we went to church this Sunday with New Highlands coach, Coach Bob Spires, Coach. Hey.
Coach, man, I'm telling y'all what. I know I say this every week. We've had some great Sunday conversations. Man, Coach Holcomb last week, followed with another legend with Coach Bob Spear, who dominated. He had a great run at Catholic. Went down to Georgia, Kentucky boy doing his thing down there, coming back home to turn Highlands around, Coach. He had you so hyped, Coach. You almost picked up a helmet in And the shoulder pads ready to go. You know when you play, you had a leather helmet and them shoulder pads on here.
Come on, man.
But I love his energy. I'll tell y'all what, man, this might be one of the best Sunday conversations we've had. Coach's energy is remarkable.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, as always, you should be a living donor. I'm Coach Bu, my man, Coach TV on the side. Coach Truck, anything else?